Hey, Freedom Family. I am so glad that you're here at _Freedom for Life where we give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. And I've got to tell you, I am so ready for today's conversation because today I get to talk about why we are handcuffed to our habits and our patterns in our life. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the one thing that's going to set you free forever. So let's get started, shall we? And as always, as we're getting started today, could you do my top 5? Could you subscribe to be a part of the Freedom family? Could you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any conversations? Could you also put a comment down below? Because I don't want it to just be my conversation, but ours. So put a comment down there. Let us know what you want to talk about. Don't forget to do this. Hit that like button. It's going to bless my heart if I know that it's blessing you. And also down below, Instagram and Facebook. We're having conversations in those mediums as well. The links are down below. Check those out also. Hey, and as we're getting started today, here's a question for you. Have you ever had this thing that you were trying to do, you initiated, you were trying to understand or learn or grow, and you found out that you didn't have the aptitude for it? Well, for me, that thing was math, a 4-letter word that just killed my life in school. Math was something I had no idea how to do well. I don't know if you've had this happen where early on in trying to learn something, you know, hey, this is way over my head. That's what it was for me. And so for me in school, it was a struggle for me to be able to learn it and be able to excel in it or even be able to pass the class. Have you ever had anything like that? Interesting thing that happened in that was I had this habit of avoiding math. Doing the homework last, signing up for the easiest classes. I was in a place where I made sure that this thing that was challenging, this thing that kind of tested my belief in myself, I was always going to make sure that I did as little of it and had it as far away from me as possible. Come to find out I'm not that much different than most people. There's this thing in life, it's called capabilities. And it's one of those things that we use to help ourselves in areas where we're not good. I'll give you a phrase for it. It's actually the box that we put around ourselves to make sure that the challenges in our life, the things that are uncomfortable, the things that we don't want to confront, we make sure we have a box in our life and we never step out of it to make sure that those things that are time sucks, those things that are emotion sucks, those things that bring up things we don't want to deal with, it always makes sure that they're standing on the outside and we never have to do that. But here's what happened in my life that made it something I needed to deal with. It was simply this. By putting that box around myself, I wasn't just making sure that those things stayed out. I was also watering down the dreams and the goals and the life that I desired to have. How many of you know this, that we actually have these things? I consider them treasures, just the life that you're created for, right? Called and created. The problem is by putting a box around myself, I watered down those dreams that I had. And instead of making sure that I didn't have to deal with those things, what I made sure was the life that I was supposed to live, I didn't have the capabilities to live it out because I was hiding from the things I was uncomfortable with. Capabilities aren't just the box we put around ourselves. They're the limitations we put on ourselves. So instead of going for something or reaching out for that thing that might be challenging or stepping up in a way that might be super uncomfortable, I dumb my life down to what I can manage and what I feel comfortable in doing. And in doing that, I find that I've limited the things that I was able to do and the adventures that I was supposed to go on and the successes that I was supposed to have. Why are we handcuffed to our patterns and habits? Because we're handcuffed to these things that say, I'm not willing to deal with that thing and I'll make sure that I keep myself safe by keeping myself in my box. What if there's a different way? What if instead of dealing with limitations as if we're limited, we start from the place of created value and we don't let those things we're not good at limit us to the life that they're supposed to be. But instead we have the life that we're supposed to have. Your failures, your issues, your challenges in life, right? Those things that cause you to shrink back instead of step in. What if they didn't have a voice in your life any longer? What if you decided to do this one dangerous thing and be willing to fail just so you'd stretch out in some way. You'll never know how great you can be until you allow yourself the ability to actually fail. Because in failing, you find out not where your limitations are, but how far you can stretch in the moment. And then you do it again because you've just learned that you can stretch a little farther than you did before. Failures aren't fatal and they're not final unless you choose to let them be. And when I chose to let it be in this area of math, I chose the box that I wanted to stay in. What if you weren't meant to be inside a box, but you were meant to step out of it into the fullness of who you're called and created to be? And limiting your capabilities was the box that you were living in, but today you were willing to do this one dangerous, crazy thing. Step outside the box. Try something hard this week. Do something you're not great at, just for the simple fact of the adventure of finding out what you can do. And in that place, your capabilities will actually expand into the truth of who you were created to be and the things you were created to do, not limited to the things that keep fear at bay. It's in those places of being afraid and doing it anyway that you find out the amazing things on the inside that you were made for. You're not meant to be limited. You're meant to be unleashed into the life that you're called and created for. So today, how do you become free? By giving yourself permission to step outside your box. Do something dangerous, crazy, fun. I'm not talking about jumping off a cliff or skydiving or anything like that. For some of us, it's just talking to a stranger or raising our hand in a class or trying for a promotion that we don't even know if we can do. Or even just getting a job that maybe it's way above our pay grade and our intellectual abilities, we think. But you won't know unless you try. And when you do try, you'll know so much more about all the goodness that's on the inside of you. Be dangerous today. Be crazy about this one thing, knowing that you have more on the inside than you've seen yet, but being willing to walk into it, even if it's sloppy and ugly and you have to try again. There's no harm or foul on that. Just get up, dust yourself off, and step in again. I'm here for you. Freedom for Life is the ministry for you. The calling on your life is what we want to cheerlead on. Live outside your capabilities, destroy that box, and be free forever. Hey, I'm Mark, and I am so glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _ where we give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at, the capabilities and box you're in, whatever it is, to where you're called and created to be. So do me a favor, man, subscribe so you can be a part of the conversation in the family. Hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on it. I don't want you to miss out on any conversations. Put a comment down below, something a box you want to step out of or a conversation you want to have. Hit the like button because I love it when I know that I'm servicing the people in the family that desire to be a part of the family. Right? And don't forget to share. Share this with somebody you know that maybe needs to have a bigger box or step out of the box entirely. Down below, Instagram and Facebook, we're having conversations there as well, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, Freedom Family, the one thing I want you to do is dominate your day.